doxology and have grace. So at this time, if you wouldn't mind, the cast is going to sing the doxology for you. Then the Cedar Lake Youth Group will be out with the remainder of your meeting. Okay?
Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him, all the heavenly hosts. Praise Father, Son, and Holy Ghost.
Okay, we'll enjoy your meal and we'll be back in just a little while. You can go ahead and take this opportunity to turn your chairs real quick, get comfortable. It's a 4-hour play, so we don't want to have any time to go out and just get But don't leave, I was just kidding, it's not a 4-hour play. We would like to thank you all for coming out tonight. You know that no production is ever a success unless there's people in the audience. You can practice all you want. You can get it down to perfection if you want, but if nobody shows up to see it, it's just not a very successful production. So we are very happy and very pleased there are so many people that turned out for our productions. Once again, we sold out for 3 performances. We had a couple of seats left and a few people that didn't make it today. Speaking of people that didn't make it, let me tell you a little story. On Friday night, we had a table. We were sold out once again. And you know, we started asking people to pay in advance because we have waiting lists. And when people don't show up, they haven't paid for their tickets, and people on the waiting list would have liked to have had the tickets. But then we have empty seats there that aren't paid for. So we've started to have people pay in advance, and we do appreciate you all doing that if you can. Well, on Friday night, we had a couple of 4 pretty good seats. You know, a couple of 4. 2 couples of 4. I don't want to start any rumors. But we had a table of 4 that didn't show. They were all paid. Tickets were paid for. They were good seats. It was opening night, so they couldn't have heard it was a bad show yet. So we weren't sure why they weren't here. Lo and behold, they were driving around the country. I don't know, maybe they were just like to cruise instead. But they drove and they drove and they drove and they couldn't find it. So finally, they called us and they said, "We're on our way." Well, just so you know, they finally got here. They're here today. They're sending back to
Dick Baker, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't want to embarrass too much, Howard. You know, we know people leave early for our shows, and almost any night, we open the doors at 6:30. About by 6 o'clock, an hour before showtime, there's always people here early. We've just never had people leave 2 days early before the show. So we do thank you for that compliment, wanting to be here early. Again, I do want to express my sincere thanks for you being here. It seems to amaze me the longer and longer Auburn Actors Theater goes, that first of all, we sell out in a little country church out in the middle of nowhere, and also that we have such a huge following. That is very, very encouraging. It's also encouraging to us that we can continue to keep our ticket prices down. I mean, where else can you go for $12 and get a meal like you just had? Basically, you go to Applebee's for $12. For another hour or so and get some great entertainment. We think that that's really, really a great deal. We're trying to keep our ticket prices low because we want to encourage people to be able to come as a group and bring their family, bring their grandkids, and that is one of the reasons that we keep the ticket price as low as we do. Always, half our ticket price still goes to the Cedar Lake Church, the Brethren Youth Group. Now, that might not seem like a lot, but over the last 9 years, we've given them checks now totaling a little bit over $20,000. Now, that's enabled them to do a lot of things that normally you would have just been paying somebody for their investment on a theater someplace. So we're encouraged that by being out here and being able to use the facility, we're also being able to use your ticket dollars to support some very worthy causes. Okay? Enough about our ticket price. Let me tell you a little bit about Egad with a CAD. This show was written in 1953. That's a long time ago. By a lady named Anita Bell, and it's not produced very much anymore. When people in New York heard we were going to produce it, because you have to apply to New York to gain the rights to do that and pay them a royalty fee to do that, people in New York were excited. I kid you not, they called me and said, "Are you guys really going to do Egad with a CAD?" And I said, "Yes, we're going to do Egad with a CAD." They said, "It hasn't been done for a long time." I said, "I know, but we'd like to do it." So they gave us the rights to us. They sent us our royalty fees with a stipulation. There was a couple of critics that wanted to see the show. And I said, "Look, we don't take critics, okay?" They said, "Well, we just need a couple of seats in the front row on Sunday." I said, "Well, we don't." I said, "First of all, you don't know we're having a Methodist convention on Sunday." For those of you that don't know this, your Methodist pastor, he thought after the show tonight we'd like all of these tables to say, "These are all United Methodist people. We're going to have a church council meeting." He said, "None of you show up for church council." There's a few things he gave me a list. He wants me to cover and get some votes on. Okay, so we'll have that. At any rate, we couldn't give up the front row seats for our two critics, so we did have to build them a special booth tonight. Now they're up here, Mr. and Mr. Balcony, Auburn and Wendell. We are glad you're here this evening. And
Orville.
Sorry, I always messed that up. It's Orville?
That's right, sir.
His name is Orville anyway. I knew Orville right. Did you know him personally, I mean? It's probably not a good way to get a good view. At any rate, we are glad you're here.
Great start, sir.
We hope you enjoy the show this evening. As you know, you never know what critics are going to do. Hopefully they'll stay for the whole show. Some critics, some of you taking notes already. I guess that means that I should probably mosey on off the stage before I get critiqued too hard. And without any further ado, let me present to you the show Egad, What a Cat.
Where is that confounded nurse of mine?
Now, what
sure does have a case on that nurse.
That young fool! I'll put a stop to this!
Now, try to hold your temper, dear. I need to get strong and well again as soon as possible so that we can resume our social life. I'm so tired of staying at home and not having any fun.
Ursula, you seem to forget you're married to me. You're not supposed to have any fun!
I wonder if that goes for us, too. What an actor. He conveys the whole range of emotions from A to B.
Do, Fowler, you may go.
You given it any thought, Ursula, what it means if your son continues his infatuation with that dratted nurse? I won't have it.
Nothing will come of that romance, I can assure you.
That girl is a scheming little nobody. She's laid a trap for Manly because she knows he's well loaded.
Whoa.
How can you say such a thing? Why, my Manly never indulges in alcoholic beverages of any type.
I mean that young jackanapes is loaded with money. Let that
Jackanapes. Now, I remember the jackalope from that Funniest Home Video show.
You did catch me. Manly's father. Now, there was a man. What a pity his stay here on earth was so short.
What did your husband die of, Ursula?
Marriage, I guess.
He died of a heart attack.
What?
Poor dear. The doctors never were quite sure what brought it on.
It was probably because he was married to you.
Smart as a whip, that boy.
There's only one way to cure your son's infatuation with that nurse, Constable. She must be sent away at once.
You'll do nothing of the sort. I won't hear of it.
Well, then what do you propose to do? You mean you want to be married to a penniless nobody? A girl that has to work for her living?
Well, certainly not. But if you discharge the nurse, it will only make Manly...
Well, what do you propose to do then?
Well, we must keep her right here where I can monitor her every move. Sooner or later, I shall be able to manufacture enough evidence against her to make the scales fall from my Manly's eyes. Why, when I'm finished with Constant Hope, he'll be so disgusted with her, he'll never want to see her again.
I see what you mean. You think you can manufacture some evidence so that that nurse will be out of our lives forever?
During my rise to prominence in the social world, I have learned to triumph over my... If anyone dare get in my way, I know how to rub him out, as I would a fly.
You better be quiet.
I don't like the sounds of that. For all I know, you may be planning on rubbing me out.
It's not like she hasn't done it before.
You have nothing to fear on that score, my pet. Why, I wouldn't want to have to go to the trouble of burying you and finding a new husband this late in the year with the social season almost at an end.
Ah, love.
Yeah, love of money.
Is it now, Fowler?
Well, there's a gentleman waiting without.
Without what?
Without an appointment? He says he's got to see you without delay.
All right, show him in.
Come on in!
Bertram Oleander! What is the meaning of this?
My spies told me that you were enjoying ill health. And since I have reasons of my own for being interested in you, I decided to pay you a visit and see how serious your illness really is.
Oh, I've always known you had more nerve than the devil himself, but I didn't think you'd dare come here.
I am here because it's time for a showdown between us, Greystone. I would have to work with you in private.
I have nothing to say to you, Bertram Olander. I'd suggest you get out of here while you're still in one piece.
You can't expect me to take those threats seriously, old man. But enough of this. My time is valuable. People are always making demands on me, asking for my advice. Verily, such popularity must be deserved.
Fowler, why are you still mooning around here? Get back to the kitchen, will you?
Yes, sir.
That's better, much better. I hope you don't mind if I sit down, Greystone.
I should be delighted if you fell right down on your face, you unmitigated scoundrel. Joanne, tell me, what's given you the temerity to show your evil face in my house?
You wrong me, Greystone, really you do. You should know by now that I am entirely unselfish, and I have only your interests at heart.
You mealy-mouthed hypocrite! What fresh devilry are you planning now?
I don't suppose that you've forgotten that you're to be at my trial a week from today, since you are the main witness.
Well, I'll say I haven't forgotten. It shall give me great pleasure to testify before Judge Savage that you are guilty.
Isn't it true that you are...
I make my presence felt as a witness against you, even if I know it at the end of my existence on this earth.
If you continue to assume such an
active foreshadowing, you might not live to get to the courthouse, you old wreck. Well, now you're showing your true colors. It's what I expected all along from a scoundrel like you, a knave who's robbed innocent men and women of the savings of a lifetime in order to feather his own nest.
Egad, I mustn't show my temper in front of the old goat. Now for some dirty work. I didn't mean to lose my temper, Greystone. I beseech you to forgive me. Why, I came here to do you a service, sir.
You expect me to believe that?
It would go simpler on you if you would. Why, you should know by now that I will never be convicted of the crimes with which I am charged. This is not the first time I have been taken to trial, but I've always managed to gain an acquittal. Right, these gloves don't fit.
Just another OJ.
That is correct. In spite of all your thievery, you've always managed to elude the law and maintain your freedom. This time, it shall be different. I promise you.
I don't understand why you're so eager to have me convicted, sir. After all, I haven't injured you in any way.
But you've hoodwinked a great many poor people who have become the innocent victims of your greed and cupidity, good word.
I merely sold stock in a mining company to a lot of gullible fools.
Like the folks who bought tickets for this show.
If I hadn't taken their money, someone else would have.
Like Kelly, that beautiful lady on the phone.
Well, tell that to Judge Savage and Jed when you appear before him.
I'm sure it won't come to that, Greystone. After all, you are the one person responsible for this trial. You are the one person who brought the charges against me. Why, no one else even suspects that the mine they've invested in isn't everything I claim it to be.
That is correct. I have positive proof for which to convict you. You have sold thousands of dollars of worthless stock. Stock that's not even worth the paper it's printed on.
Like this script.
Oh, come now, Greystone. Who are you to be so high and mighty with me? I dare say that you have resorted to several questionable business deals that wouldn't bear up under too close an inspection.
Will you get out of my house?
Take it easy, old man. Remember, you have a weak heart. But before I go, I wish to make you a very fine offer.
You're just wasting your breath.
Never mind, there's plenty more where that came from. What would you say if I told you I'd give you $25,000 cash to drop the charges against me?
Drop the charges? I couldn't do that even if I wanted to. What possible explanation could I give for doing a complete about-face at this late date?
It would be quite simple for you, I assure you. All you'd have to do is talk to Judge Savage and tell him that you've made a mistake. You now find that you have insufficient evidence against me to take me to trial.
That's all I have to do, is it?
Be quite simple for you, really. Judge Savage is a good friend of yours. It would never occur to him to doubt your word. Why, he'd have to give me a clean bill of health. I would go free, and you would be richer by $25,000 cash. How about it?
You expect me to do all of this for a paltry, measly $25,000?
Name your price. I'll match it. What do you want? $1 million, I suppose?
Hey, that's my favorite show. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Let's play. Here we go.
Well, Augustus, you've made it to the $1 million question. It's been a long, hard road. How do you feel now?
Pretty tough crowd here today. Feel pretty good. An extra $1 million earned. Nothing wrong with that.
It's the first time for everything, isn't there? Well, Augustus, here's the question. In Edgar Rice Burroughs' Tarzan of the Apes, what was Tarzan's English title? Was it A, Lord Orangutan, B, Lord Greystone, C, Lord George of the Jungle, hey, watch out for that, or D, Lord Greystoke?
I never had time for this frivolous stuff. I'm in business. I know self. I invest wisely. Watch out for the .coms.
You haven't even seen the movie?
Enough times for movies.
Where's that lifeline yet?
I've got a lifeline. I think I need it.
Right. We'll have AT&T call up whoever you like. Who shall we call?
Let's call the bozo on the balcony. He's been on a roll all night.
He does have quite a vocabulary, doesn't he?
Hello.
Hello, this is Regis Philbin with Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Is this the bozo in the balcony?
No, he left to do a TV show today.
All right. Well, Augustus, you have 30 seconds with this friend.
Friend of bozos. In Edgar Rice Burroughs' novel Tarzan of the Apes, what was Tarzan's English title? A, Lord Orangutan, B, Lord Greystone, C, Lord George of the Jungle, D, Lord Greystoke. Come on, baby.
Like I give him the right answer.
Why? I don't think I've ever heard anything like that on a show before.
Why must everyone on this show make a monkey of themselves? All right, I like the sound of A, Lord Orangutan. Final answer. I'll take cash. Kind of in a hurry, actually.
That's your final answer?
Yeah, sounds good, doesn't it?
I'm sorry, Augustus. That is incorrect. The answer was D, Lord Greystoke. Doesn't everyone know that? I tried to give him the final answer, no giving the hint. They never take that, do they? Well, doesn't everyone know that orangutans are only in Asia anyways?
That's probably the most fun you'll have all evening.
You couldn't buy me for all the money in the world. I'm more determined than ever to see that you receive the maximum penalty for the outrageous crimes you have committed.
Oh, now, come on, Greystone. I don't have a...
Not another word. I shall appear before Judge Savage today and inform him of the fact that you tried to bribe me. Before I'm finished with you, you will wish that you were...
Very well, if that's the way you want to play this out, we'll see who the winner will be. I still have cards left up my sleeve, and I shall play them for all I am worth.
Will you get out of here?
I'll go, of course. I never stay where I'm not wanted. Poor Greystone, something tells me that your heart is weaker than you think. Why, before you get a chance to talk to Judge Savage, you'll be a goner because your heart will succumb.
That fiend! What did he mean by that last crack?
Greystone, are you all right? Tyler just told me that you were looking for me.
Where have you been, Miss Hope? I am not paying you to jolly-flash around this place when I'm paying you to be on duty here.
Pretty spry for a sick old guy, wouldn't you say?
Well, one of your prescriptions ran out, and I ran to the pharmacy to have it renewed. It took some time to have the prescription filled, but I hurried back as soon as I could.
I'm tired of taking medicines that aren't doing me any good. I haven't felt this tired since my last attack.
Your doctors feel greatly pleased with your progress. I'm sure that in a short amount of time you'll be feeling entirely well again.
Oh, I'm gonna go lie down. And I don't want to be disturbed.
How fortunate I am to have found such a haven. How good it is to have a sanctuary where I can feel safe and secure. Nobody here even guesses that I was once a downtrodden girl who couldn't escape the doom that was closing in on me. Every day I pray that no one here will ever discover that I am a girl with a past I pray will never come back to haunt me. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows the sorrow. Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Glory, hallelujah.
Yeah, this is pretty sad, all right.
Oh, Gus! I've been reading that!
Not zesty.
I'm so glad you're back, Constance. It seems to me you've been away forever.
Don't be silly. I was only gone 15 minutes or so. How his voice thrills me. One glance at his manly bosom and my heart races with joy. Oh, cease my fluttering heart.
Oh, cease my rising lunch.
Constance, earlier today you said that I reminded you of someone. Have you remembered who it is yet?
The Roadrunner? Look at those legs. More like Daffy Duck.
It is Lord Lochinvar.
Lochinvar?
Yes, don't you remember him? He rode a horse.
What? I always thought that was Lady Godiva.
I always thought it was Dudley Do-Right.
Well, you must excuse me now. I have to prepare your stepfather's medicine.
Will you forget Mr. Greystone? It seems to me you spend far too much time waiting on Mr. Greystone.
But that is why I am here. You mustn't forget that I am paid to look after Mr. Greystone and take care of his wants.
Forget Mr. Greystone and his wants. Please sit down. I have something very, very important that I want to say to you.
I just know he's going to propose to me. Oh, dear Lord, please grant me sufficient strength to say him nay. Help me to unburden my soul and reveal my shocking past. Can't you postpone what you'd like to say to me until some future time?
What? Constance, not a chance. Please sit down.
Very well, but please be brief.
Briefs? I prefer boxers myself.
Constance, first, I must tell you, Constance, it has never been my good fortune to gaze upon beauty and loveliness of the type that you possess so abundantly.
I should be accustomed to your compliments by now, but I'm afraid I'm not. Please tell me what's on your mind.
Well, Constance, first I must tell you that my factory, it is a great success. You see, I've made an independent fortune of my own through the sale of my soap.
Soap?
Well, Jed did promise that it'd be a clean show for once.
Constance, you sound as though you didn't like soap.
Oh no, that isn't it at all. In fact, I was raised on soap.
That's why she's so bubbly.
Well, Constance, I only mention my wealth because, well, Constance, I wish to place everything I have at your feet. Constance, I can't get you out of my thoughts, my mind. Will you please make me the happiest man in the world and say that you'll marry me?
Oh, Mr. Rash, this is so sudden.
Won't you please call me Manly?
We won't.
Oh, if Manly weren't so manly, it'd make it so much easier to reveal my shocking past. For your sake, I shall do as you wish. from me. I could never marry any man.
My goodness. Do you realize what you're saying?
Yeah, she doesn't want to be a constant rash.
Yeah, without hope.
Alas, alack, I realize it only too well. But since you've done me the honor of asking me to be your wife, I find it only fitting and proper that I reveal my shocking past to you.
Constance, I am not interested in your past. You and I shall be married, and we will spend all of our time living in the present and dreaming about the future.
It isn't as simple as that.
Yeah, they were married in sagebrush.
Sagebrush!
You bozo.
You must first listen to what I'm about to tell. 8 years ago, I was in a dreadful accident. The train I was riding in collided with another train, and I was thrown from the train.
Right along with Mama.
And left in an unconscious condition in the bottom of a ravine.
You might say she was ditched.
My poor Constance, how you must have suffered.
Like us.
For a long time, I wasn't expected to live. But after a series of operations, gradually nature asserted herself, and I began to make progress.
Well, Constance, I still fail to see why any of this should keep you from marrying me.
I am coming to that. You see, after many months, I regained my lost health and began to feel like my old self again, physically.
Yes. Yes. I mean, go on. Go on.
But my mind was a total blank.
Because she's a blonde?
Try as I would, I could not remember my life that I led before the fatal accident.
Fatal? Doesn't that mean she's dead?
You mean?
She's a ghost?
I mean, I couldn't remember my own name. I couldn't remember where I came from or who I was.
Well, yeah, a blonde, all right.
I don't understand, though. Your name is Constant Hope, isn't it?
One of the surgeons at the hospital gave me that name because I couldn't remember what I was called before the accident. Then I decided to stay on at the hospital, go into training. I graduated with high honors, and I've been nursing ever since.
I still fail to see why any of this should keep you from marrying me, Constance.
Once you've had time to think it over, you may realize that I'm not fit to be your wife. There could be some man come on the scene and could prove that I was his wife before the accident.
Well, wouldn't let a little thing like that stand in the way of our marriage?
A little thing? You don't know what you're saying.
Well, Constance, in spite of everything, I shall never be content until I have made you mine. We'll battle this thing out together. You and I against the world, standing back to back we'll go. And I will devote all of my time and energy to discovering your true identity.
You mean Susie?
I forbid you to do anything of the sort.
But why, Constance? Don't you want to know who you really are?
It's Susie!
I think they're ignoring us.
I'm afraid that once you've had time to think it over, you may realize that I'm not fit to be your wife.
Oh, nonsense.
Until I shed some light on my past, I must remain as I am.
Constance, you couldn't be anything but noble and good, Constance. Now listen, we'll sleep on this tonight, and tomorrow we'll discuss this very, very carefully. Until then, don't worry, Constance. Just leave everything to me, Constance.
Would that I were free to marry manly and lead a happy, normal existence, but I could never run the risk of dragging the proud name of Rash through the mud. Oh, woe is me. Oh, lack a day. Oh, who are you and why are you here?
You don't recognize me, my dear? I didn't think the day would come when you would forget your own Bertram.
But I don't understand. I've never seen you before. Or have I?
Egad, if I'm successful in pulling the wool over this dame's eyes, the world will be mine. Now for some more dirty work. You'll never know how I've looked forward to the day when I would find you again, my dear, sweet little wife.
I am your wife?
Why did you leave me in such a heartless fashion after I've lavished years of love and attention upon you? How could you find it in your heart to leave me and the little babe?
I am a mother?
I sent you abandoned as I had to be both father and mother to little Elmer.
Elmer? That's a funny name.
I have a son? Oh, where is he?
Hunting wabbits?
poor little fellow died a year ago after suffering a severe attack of pneumonia. He believed his mother was dead.
Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Back up the train. Don't we have a bit of a problem with chronology here?
It's mere deduction, Watson.
She appears to be about 25, wouldn't you say?
Meh. And if the accident was 8 years ago, and she was married before that, and had a child, and they dated for any amount of time,
What was she, 11 when they first met?
I don't think so.
Maybe she's from Kentucky.
Yes. True too.
I had no wish to desert you. You see, I was in a dreadful accident, and I lost my memory. I couldn't remember my name, who I was.
Egad, this dame is falling for my lines, line and sinker. Now for some more dirty work. That accounts for the fact I was never able to find any trace of you since the day you went away, although I've never stopped looking for you, my dear little wife.
I am your wife.
What's her name?
Please be good enough to tell me my name.
Why, before you married me, you were Mrs. Bertram Oleander. I have spent a fortune trying to find you, my dear. Why, when I came to this house, I never dreamed that you would be here.
But if you didn't expect to find me, what brought you here?
Augustus Greystone is an old and dear friend of mine. Hearing that he was ill, I decided to pay him a visit and to see if I could be of any service to him.
Mr. Greystone is resting now and cannot be disturbed. I'm working here as his nurse.
My wife? Working as a nurse?
She works hard for the money. She works hard for the money. She works hard for the money, so you better treat her right. Say hello, manly, manly rash. I don't want to have a manly rash.
You will have to give up your position here immediately, my dear. Why, what would my friends say if they ever found out that Bertram Oleander's wife was working for her living? An impossible situation from any point of view.
You'll just have to grant me some time to become used to the idea of having a husband.
Anything you say, my dear. Why, just yesterday, I was looking at our wedding certificate, and it brought back thoughts of happier days.
You are in possession of our wedding certificate?
Naturally, since you left it behind when you went away. Now all I have to do is forge a wedding certificate, and then this dame will be mine until I decide to toss her aside.
What was my father's name?
I don't know. He died before we were married.
What?
I mean, before you married me, your name was Maggie McCoy.
Maggie McCoy? Are you sure of
I'm
that?
positive, my dear. Maggie McCoy, the daughter of the real McCoy.
When may I see your wedding certificate?
Tonight, my dear, I will take you to dinner at my hotel. Then I will show you the wedding certificate that proves us to be man and wife.
And then he'll show her his etchings.
Until this evening, then. But for now, you have to excuse me. I have some work to do.
Now for some more dirty work. If I continue to pull the wool over her eyes, then I will grab the Greystone fortune. After that, I will toss her aside and move on to greener pastures. This has been a lucky day indeed for Bertram Oleander.
that you're giving this matrimony business some serious thought before rushing.
Why, Mama, how did you know I was contemplating matrimony?
Why, any fool can see that you're head over heels in love with Constant Hope.
You can? I mean, it didn't show. I'm sorry, Mother.
When do you plan to propose to your stepfather's nurse?
Well, as a matter of fact, I already have. Just this afternoon, I asked Constant if she would marry me.
She must have been overjoyed at the prospect of becoming Mrs. Manly Rash.
Yes,
Yeah, a constant rash in the family.
Don't they have medications for that?
Constance feels the same way about me as I do about her, Mother.
Has she set the date for your wedding yet, son?
Oh, no, not yet. You see, she's afraid that after we're married, her husband will show up.
Constant Hope has a husband? Who is he?
She's not real sure if she does have a husband or not, Mother.
What?
Mother, can't you understand? Constant Hope may have a husband, and then again, she may not have a husband. She can't remember.
Oh, my poor dear boy. Are you sure you're feeling all right?
Oh, I feel just fine, but I'll feel much better once this matter of Constance's past is settled.
So that nurse has a past, has she? I can't say as I'm surprised.
You're not?
Hardly. Why, I often wondered why someone as beautiful as Constance Hope would be working as a nurse.
Constance certainly is beautiful, isn't she? Why, she looks like $1 million!
Not again.
Well, I certainly hope for your sake that she'll settle for less.
Oh, if Constance would agree to marry me, I'd settle every dollar I have on her. After all, Mother, what good is happiness? It can't buy you anything. But love can't buy me love. Money can't buy me love, can't buy me love. No, 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 no.
Well, anyway, I think I probably should have a talk with this nurse.
Oh, Mother, what good we're talking to at this point in the game? Now we have to prove that Constance hasn't got a husband. And if she does have a husband, why, I should find a way to get rid of it. Midget Mafia.
That's right. No job too big, no job too small.
What do you specialize in?
Husband removal.
We might be able to do some business. How long have you been in business?
Long enough.
Well, hey, it doesn't say on here how I'm supposed to get a hold of you.
Don't call us. We'll call you.
Well, I certainly hope we won't mention any of this to Augustus. You know, he's not quite as well as he was, and we wouldn't want to upset him. Listen, I'll be upstairs.
There.
Look, I'll be upstairs if you want me, son.
I don't know what to do. Constance must be mine. Somehow she shall be mine. I can't live without her. What is a boy to do?
It's all right, Fowler. I'll give Mr. Greystone his medicine now.
Hello, Constance. Constance, will you please spare me a moment? I need to talk to you.
Really, Manly, I must give Mr. Greystone his medicine.
Constance, forget Mr. Greystone's medicine. I really, really need to spend some time with you. It will only take a few minutes.
I'm sure that you know, because I mustn't neglect my duties around here.
Okay.
Once again, fate has played into my hands. A few drops of this poison from South America poured into Greystone's medicine, and the old codger will never know what hit him. Now for some more dirty work. Eureka! That does it. the Greystone fortune. You're not doing so badly, Bertram, old boy. Not badly at all.
I thought I heard voices in here. I must be hearing things again.
Your few minutes are up, Emily. I must get back to my work.
What's the matter? Would Mr. Greystone take his medicine?
No, I'm about to give it to him now. Manly detained me out in the garden.
Oh, it's Manly now. Well, you better not let Mrs. Greystone hear you call him by his first name.
Thank you for reminding me, Fowler. I shall try to be more discreet when Mrs. Greystone is around.
Confound it! What's all this racket out here?
Mr. Greystone, please calm down. It's time for you to take your medicine now.
I asked not to be disturbed. Oh, I'll take it in the study.
Okay, just calm down.
All I want is a little peace and quiet. What a fitting line.
Loafing as usual, Fowler. Can't you find something useful to do? I don't know. I ain't had time to look. Could you please see who's at the door? Go get it yourself. I didn't tell you. Hide away, Mom.
Rock and roll.
I need you to do me a favor.
Certainly, dear. What is it you need?
Well, Mother, I never get to see Constance anymore. It's a few minutes here and a few minutes there, and that's just not enough time. So I need you to arrange for her to have the evening off.
Well, Constance is not my nurse. She's Augustus' nurse. I'm afraid you'll have to talk to your stepfather.
Oh, I'm not going to talk to that old kook. Mother, you can arrange for her to have the evening off. Yeah, I mean, after all, none of your other husbands has ever dared to cross you. Why would this one?
No one's ever crossed her and lived.
Is my husband feeling any better, Miss Hope?
I'm afraid not. It was all I could do to get him to take his medicine.
Well, the next time. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down. Medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down in the most delightful way.
That's a really good idea. I'll try that next time.
Wait, the doctor will be here shortly. I'll have him speak to Augustus. Oh, don't worry. Don't get the door or anything. I just have to play the piano, wash all these dishes, but no, I'll get the door too. That's fine.
I'm afraid Mr. Greystone might have something on his mind. He asked me to send Mr. Rash to him at once.
Well, then you must go right away, Mandy, and see what he wants.
What? I can't imagine what he wants to see me about. He hardly ever talks about.
Augustus gets well soon. Come on in.
I hope you'll pardon this intrusion, miss. I am Bertram Oleander, and I'm here to inquire about Mr. Greystone's health.
I am certainly delighted to meet you, Mr. Oleander. I am Mrs. Augustus Greystone.
You are his wife? I never would have believed it. I would have taken you for his younger sister, my dear.
He must be blind.
Sweet of you to say so. Meet Miss Hope. She is Augustus' nurse.
How do you do, Miss Hope? How is your patient doing?
I'm afraid Mr. Greystone isn't making much progress.
A visit from an old and dear friend like me will be all that's needed to cheer the old fellow up to no end.
Mama! Mama! Mama, you're not going to believe what just happened!
What is it, Manny? What happened?
I went into the study and I saw Augustus sitting there. He was almost lifeless looking. And he appeared to be dazed, but I tried to arouse him to no avail. So at that moment he sat up, and with every last ounce of energy in his body, he said to me, "I've been poisoned!"
Poisoned? Oh, no! You must go for the doctor, Manny.
The doctor won't help him now, Mother. I'm afraid Mr. Augustus Greystone is dead.
Along with this show.
Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. I looked overjoyed, and what did I see? Coming for to carry me home. A band of angels coming after me. Coming for to carry me home. Swing low, sweet chariot. Carry me home, sing low, sweet chariot. Come for to carry me home, swing low, sweet chariot.
Show's not over yet. You better be back in your seats in 15 minutes. It's just intermission. That goes for all you too.
I'm sorry, folks, but if you think this show's a stinker, you should have seen the last one they did. Some guy in a boat. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about.
comfortable for you.
Have you ever seen this He's in charge of all
I'm out there when I'm in the house. It's a lot of time. I do. I enjoy the people. I play cricket.
It isn't like you really hate it. They don't let me know if you do everything. You see all the house and that's it.
Hey, I don't question. Hunter in our church, how do they replace the light bulb? Have you got a scaffolding or what? How do you do that?
The ones up above over the fence and the table up in front, I bring my 40-foot line up. Lean it up there and George brings up. But them bulbs up there and the big ones are the devils that they're up there shit in. You know, hard to take them out. George does it. But what's the biggest thing in the like that? You should have put them on the lower, but you didn't. I don't know that not the ones up the sanctuary, but the ones on the side that's up the highest. I don't even know if I can see, because when you get down off that platform, you're down with it 3 or 4 feet. My 40-foot, it will just make it up there. Of course, I got a heavy-duty industrial with a heavy-duty level. It's a devil to get up to this down here. But it's aluminum, but it's still heavy. Because it's a commercial heavy. I know exactly. But them others, now, Georgia, they got some scaffolding and some structure like that a full line. But it's a bear to put that out. I'd say no easy way.
Egad, how beautiful you are. I must confess, I know how to pick them every time.
Please state the nature of your business here, sir, and please be brief. I have no time for idle chit-chat.
I am here to see if you have any word from that missing Rash fellow.
No word of any kind. Manly Rash disappeared shortly after Augustus Greystone died, and no one has heard from him since.
I understand the police are making an exhaustive search in that vein, but so far, the results have been useless.
That is correct. Nobody knows where Manly Rash is or why he disappeared. It's as though the earth opened and swallowed poor Manly up.
No doubt by this time the young scoundrel is safe in Canada.
Oh, Canada!
Hey, take off to Great White North, eh?
No, you take off, loser.
No, you take off.
No, you take off.
I don't understand. Why would Manly go to Canada?
Because he's a lumberjack and he's okay.
The reason is obvious, my dear. Why, I happen to know the police believe Manly poisoned his stepfather and then fled before he could be taken into custody.
That is a lie. Anyone who knows Manly knows he could never harm anyone.
And why are you in such a rush to defend him? Surely you're not in love with him, are you, Constant?
Well,
You have not forgotten that you are my wife, and as such you owe all your allegiance to me.
Would that I could forget it, but the very fact that I was once your wife hangs over me like the smell of a damp dog.
Who let the dogs out?
This you may be certain. If relationship between us. It will never be resumed. Never.
So that is why you have refused to see me since Greystone died, is it? You didn't want to give me the chance to claim you as my wife. The time has come for plain speaking between us, my dear wife.
Don't call me your wife. On your lips, that word is a mockery, sir.
Those are harsh words coming from you, Constant, my dear. I have tried to inspire confidence in you. You must believe me when I say that you can trust me to do whatever I think is best for you.
I ask only one favor of you. Go out of my life and leave me alone.
Ah, so you could join that rash fellow and forget you are a married woman, eh? What a fool I would be to grant such a request.
You wrong me, sir. I have no intention of linking myself to any man. I just want to live a useful life trying to atone for my past by nursing the sick and bringing them back to health.
I will give you 1 hour to pack your things and come to the hotel and live with me as man and wife.
Never. There is no law that can compel a wife to live with a man whom she dislikes and mistrusts. Your threats do not frighten me, sir. Do your worst. I defy you.
May I come in?
No! Run away!
Do so, by all means.
And why are you here, my dear?
Zesty!
I am one of Manly Rash's customers. My name is Millie Smith. I'm on a shopping trip and I've ordered a large amount of soap from Mr. Rash's factory.
Please, tell me why you're here, my dear.
I just told you. I want to buy a large order of soap from my drugstore back home. I went out to the factory and it was closed up. The janitor there said that nobody knows where Mr. Rash is. He gave me this address and told me I might get some information about Mr. Rash.
We can tell you nothing, Miss Smith. Manly Rash disappeared. No one knows where he is or when he will ever return.
Well, what do you know? Disappeared, has he? I'd say that's mighty rash of Rash to neglect his
I had a manly rash once. I'm glad it disappeared.
Well, you'll just have to excuse me. I have work to do.
I'll have to find some other place to buy the soap I need.
Perhaps I can help you, my dear. Where will you be staying?
Oh, at the Torrance Hotel.
Oh, I shall try and stop by later and pay you a visit. I never miss an opportunity of spending time with the lovely lady.
Oh, you city men, you have such taking ways. I shall look forward to seeing you again later. Who was that woman, Gertrude?
Another one of your son's conquests. You must be truly in love with her because she came here looking for him.
Strange. I've never known Manly to take an interest in anyone but Constant Hope.
Tell me, my dear, have you given any thought to the matter we discussed yesterday? You know you will be needing someone to look after your financial affairs, and I am the ideal person.
I have decided to place everything into your hands. If you will call upon my attorney in the morning, he has a document signed by me which will give you the authority to handle all of my investments.
Egad, this dame has fallen into the plot I have laid for her. Now for some more dirty work. My dear, I shall try to be worthy of the great trust you have bestowed upon me.
I am certain you will do a wonderful job. I am so fortunate indeed to have you to lean upon. You are a true friend.
Only a friend, my dear? My heart cries out to be much more than that to you.
Well, I don't know what you mean.
My dear, you are still a young, beautiful woman. Marry me. We shall travel the world, and I will devote my life to making me and you happy.
I would like nothing more than to be your bride.
I think I'm ready to get sick again.
But I cannot make a decision until I've discussed the matter with my son.
Oh, forget Manly Rash.
We have.
For your sake, I hope he is out of your life forever. I hope he is never apprehended and brought back to face the trial for murdering his stepfather.
Murder? My son is not a murderer.
But this show is killing me.
Under ordinary circumstances, no. But he was driven to that crime by that unscrupulous nurse, Constant Hope. Why? He plotted to poison his stepfather in order to gain the consent to marry him.
It can't be. Not that. Not that.
Constant Hope is out to give herself a rich husband, come what may. Why, she even tried to seduce me to get to propose to marry her. But I turned her down flat. I told her, my heart belonged to you, my dear.
Then Manly is lost to me forever. This is more than I can bear.
Like sand through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
You would think this show was called All the Nightmares of Our Lives.
Constant! You heard?
Every word. From the very first I mistrusted you, and now all of my suspicions are verified. You are an unscrupulous cur who will stop at nothing to gain your foul ends.
Gadzooks, the plot thickens. Now for some more dirty word. I only proposed to Ursula because of you, my dear.
You expect me to believe that?
It is true, my dear. Why, once I am married to Ursula and have control of her fortune, you and I will travel the world together. How does that sound?
You cad. I just can't find adequate words with which to describe my loathing of you.
How about suppurating pustules of pulsating putrescent pestilence?
Egad, my dear, your beauty drives me wild. I shall place a kiss on those ruby red lips.
I thought they were supposed to be ruby slippers.
Oh, there's no place like home! No place like home! Take me out of this show!
What the heck? You weren't expecting me here, were you, old man?
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition!
Well, your days of double dealing are over.
I thought I heard Manly's voice. Manly, is it really you?
Yes, Mama, it's really me. In spite of this snake's efforts to keep me away.
Curses! Foiled again! I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about, Manly.
Oh, you think you don't, huh? Well, this snake, he took a revolver out and he pointed it at me. And it made me go to an abandoned shack with him. Once he got me there, he bound up my wrists and my ankles with heavy rope. I kind of like that, I'm not sure why. At any rate, I'll see a therapist and we'll work that out. In the meantime, he left Fred Vedder, one of his henchmen, to look out for me. And I couldn't get away.
How did
teeth. And then the rest was fairly easy. I undid the rope around my ankles. And then I tried to overpower Better, but he was way too much of a man for me. So I continued to fight with him and he escaped. Fortunately, it was raining. And it was muddy outside. When the police arrived, they said we would be on the tracks of Better. Well, anyway.
Who needs a script?
We followed the tracks of Better. And when we got to the end of Better's tracks, we found Better. And when we found Better, he said, it wasn't him. Better denied being in the shack. And all of a sudden, one of the policemen had a wonderful idea. He said we had to call in a paleontologist. Well,
now you're talking.
A paleontologist was. But the doctor said, and the police said, that they actually pay people to pour plaster in the footprints to find out if it's the right person. So lo and behold, that's exactly what they did. And the plaster cast that the paleontologist made matched Better's. The paleontologists are to be commended.
I should say so.
They saved Better. And then Better made a full confession on how it was all a plot on Oleander's part to take control of the Greystone fortune.
I'll not stand here and listen to these insults. I have every intention of filing a libel suit against you.
Stay where you are.
And what's the meaning of this?
Put your hands to the ceiling right now. Not you bozos in the balcony. Yeah. No, you. Not that. The meaning of this is that I only claim to be a customer of Mr. Rash's so that I can gain access to this house.
You mean you are really Millie Smith?
Oh, I'm Millie Smith, all right, but I'm connected with the law. I work for homicide. Searched Oleander's room and found a large amount of the same deadly poison that killed Augustus Greystone.
You can't hang this rap on me. You only have circumstantial evidence against me.
Listen, Boston Birdie, we've got you dead to rights. They're constrained state's evidence, and you know what that means, don't you?
Yeah, better late than never.
It means next time I shall play my cards more carefully.
Egad, what a cat!
On your way, Boston Birdie, and remember, no tricks. My trigger finger's getting mighty itchy. Now, on your way.
Did you say my way? And now the end is near. As I reach the final curtain, my friends, I'll make it clear. I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway, but more, much more than this, I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he is not to say the words of one who feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way.
I knew that Bertram Oleander was no good the moment I laid eyes upon him.
Oh, Manly, I shudder to think of what might have happened if you hadn't arrived when you did. You saved me from a fate worse than death.
Oh, shucks, I didn't do anything. And one thing for certain, though, Oleander's days of double dealing are over.
Well, I'm certain you children will want to get married just as soon as possible. Of course, I shall handle all of the necessary arrangements. Quite a social event it will be.
You will marry me me, won't you, Constance? Please?
The answer is... okay. I could never resist anyone as manly as you, Manly.
Oh, Constance, we're going to be so happy. Come right this way. Oh, wait. Watch your step. It's a killer.
It's over, isn't it?
Enjoy the ride home as much as you enjoyed your time here. Thank you. Yes, we'll be out this way to the stairway, so they'll be waiting on the other stairs. Thank you.
Whose idea was this? Mine or yours? Mine. Oh. You're not going to have a woman